All right, we're gonna get Dr. Brooke Fott on here. She's a sex medicine provider in Nashville because one of our Bert Show listeners hit us up with an email. And she says that her husband's just pulling the same basic moves in the bedroom, and she'd really like to kick it up a notch. But how do you have that conversation with your partner without making them feel some sort of way?
And I'm going to give the kid warning because we're going to have some discussion of adult intimacy and piano playing ahead.
That's why we have a sex medicine provider on with us.
Just in case you missed that memo. Hey, Bert Show, I need a safe space for this as I can't really discuss it with anyone I know. So my husband and I have been together for 10 years, and he's amazing. There are some problems, just like any marriage, but we've always gotten through them. We recently had some family drama outside our home, and how we've moved forward from it has really kind of changed the dynamic of our relationship. I think we both resent each other over the whole thing, to be honest. We've been through dry spells before when it comes to intimacy, but damn, the last 4 to 6 months have been the worst. He never initiates, and if he does, it's the same old move of him waiting for me to roll over to go to bed, and then he starts grabbing my booty. I pretended I'm asleep because that does nothing for me after 10 years. I've made some suggestions of things we could try or things he could do that would get me in the mood, and he just continues to stick with the very routine experience.
So she needs something unique to get everything kicked off.
You gotta get the juices flowing somehow.
Last night, I finally just had a good cry after. I love him so much. We are great parents and great friends, and I don't want anyone else, but I need passion and chemistry. There are days we barely even talk to each other. I'm so scared our marriage is starting to fail. I have no one to talk to about it, and while I would never, ever cheat on him or hurt him intentionally, I'm catching myself wanting to talk to other people or get some sort of flirty energy and feel sexy. I just don't know what to do or what to think or what else to try other than marriage counseling, which is in the works. If anyone has been through this, I would love advice. I was a very, all caps, sexual person before him and I got together. I'm bisexual, and I always told him I'd love an experience with both, but he's not into sharing. We've talked about an open marriage, and again, he's not a sharer, and to be honest, I don't think I'd like it either. I feel I have no choice other than just to settle for what we have sexually, and I know it can be great. It's just been so long since it has been. Ugh, help, Charlie.
All right, so let's get Dr. Brooke Fott on, a sex medicine provider in Nashville. Hey, Dr. Fott, how are you?
Good morning. I'm good. How about you all?
We're doing great. Is there anything you can do to help our listener, Charlie, out with communicating with her partner about what she needs in the bedroom?
Yeah, for sure. This is such a common thing that I hear in my office, and it feels very isolating, because it's a, quote, embarrassing, or there's a topic, there's a stigma associated with sexual matters. Everybody believes that everybody's having great sex all the time, which is a big fat lie. But the fact that I commend her on saying that she tried to kind of show him what turns her on, that's fantastic. I always say try to lead by example. She could maybe try to step it up a bit and maybe send some flirty pictures or videos if she feels comfortable with that. Bring some devices or toys into the bedroom and use them alone so that he can see that she still has that sexual appetite and this is still important to her. Just anything to kind of not just gently explain, but kind of physically show. And there's one patient that I suggested. I said, what about even giving a gift of the Kama Sutra, and then saying, hey, let's play and maybe try some of these positions. And that worked really nicely to kind of excite both partners and give them some ideas of ways to kind of change up and spice up some activities in the bedroom.
Gotcha. So instead of forcing an awkward conversation, you're saying instead of words, let's try to use actions. So as far as and I'm so sorry to cut you off.
No. Communication is 100% key. And the reason that I'm suggesting the kind of physical type or tangible type of actions is it sounds like she's entered into marriage counseling or about to, which 100% that's the foundation.
Gotcha.
Then there's sex therapy. However, I always recommend general marriage counseling. It sounds like there's a few issues they still need to work through, but sex therapy is a different type of therapy that focuses specifically on sexual matters. You can definitely address sexual health concerns and sexual concerns in general through marriage counseling, but there are certified sex therapists all over the U.S. So I definitely encourage that as well once they get to a place where they feel like that's an appropriate thing. However, if she wants to work on things at home on her own, that's what I would suggest is, stepping it up a notch and trying to get creative, but definitely open communication, maybe even just being a bit more direct too with her verbal communication.
Gotcha. No, and I think what's important to point out is at the very beginning of this conversation, you were like, Charlie's definitely not alone. Like, this is something that you have had numerous conversations about with fellow patients, and not everybody out there is just getting it and getting it good.
And that is correct. Otherwise, I would not be in business.
I was about to say, yeah, it probably would put you out of business.
Is there any way with the male ego that you actually can get a man to try to commit to being better in bed without him actually taking it as a slight of who he is?
That's a very good question, and this is a very general blanket statement, but I always joke that when it comes to sex, in many cases in a heterosexual relationship, men can be kind of blind to sexual cues other than just very, very direct, Mm-hmm. And so sometimes trying to tiptoe around the situation can be completely lost in translation. So direct but sensitive communication is really key. And I think focusing on, like she said, it used to be so great and she used to be very sexual. They had that. They have it still. It's just, something's gotten twisted or changed or morphed. And so we just have to find that again.
Gotcha. Thank you so much, Dr. Brooke Fott, for joining us. We really appreciate it.
Absolutely. Have a good day.
Thank you. That's why we have a sexpert, because you don't want to hear that stuff from us.
Nope.
Don't ask me.
The Bert Show.